uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom!
G'day YouTube, I'm Bushkin. Today's video is all about the DBS, the Dirty Big Shotgun. The DBS is undergoing what could best be called a screaming rise in popularity and has been for quite a while now. It was originally introduced in update 0.17 back in January of 2020 in an airdrop capacity. You used to get this thing out of an airdrop. And since then, the game's changed tremendously. And the DBS is actually very, very indicative of the changes within the game. So I'm going to go through and show you the stats on the weapon. I'm going to show you some little tests I did on the range that I think are very important. Talk to you about how it works and why it's so good right now. And just really break down and get inside the DBS in PUBG Mobile. Now, the thing that's very odd about shotguns in general is that there's far less difference between the different guns. The great thing about shotguns is one shot, one kill. That's what it can do. Show you a couple of quick clips here. These are so indicative of shotguns in general. This is me and Dingers hot dropping at Novo Crates. No, I'm not dead because what do I find here? And watch. Ooh. Or I get pushed by two people. And that's shotguns in a nutshell. What makes the DBS so different is that it can do exactly what you saw there, but it has 14 rounds and it can do it faster. The DBS's most common comparison is the S12K. But the one that really should be compared to is the over-under. Because the over-under has that boom boom, that two shots in a row very quickly together that creates such a tremendous amount of stopping power. Even if you only hit with half of the shots in each hit, in each, burst, you're still doing huge things. And at choke points like this, well, just watch on and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. In the chaos of getting a revive, being pushed by three people through a narrow choke point, it's just, it's broken. It's absolutely broken. There is no question that this gun in this kind of an environment is broken, and it is a real problem in the game right now when you're playing with and against the DBS. Let's look at the stats. Well, they're pretty straightforward. 5.5 seconds to run through about 14 rounds is the important one. Each pellet does 26.1 or thereabouts, completing out at 2:35 per shotgun shell, and the time to kill is obviously instant. Now, comparing it with the over-under is important. You can see that double shot, but it fires the double shot faster than the over-under does. 5.63 seconds, just a shade over 5.5 seconds to fire all 14 rounds. And the over-under has to fully reload. In 5.5 seconds, the over-under can fire 4 rounds. Now, obviously there's other shotguns out there, like the S12K, and the DBS has worse recoil. But we're not talking about the 6th shot hitting them, or the 8th shot, or even the 4th shot hitting them. If your first shot's on target, the recoil on the second does not matter with a gun like the DBS. An early game, it is so harsh. It's just stupid. That double tap is almost instant. And it's more the gap between the double taps where things get nasty. Of course, it's got weak points. Well, it's not very good at any kind of range. Like, I did this just to prove that it wasn't good at range. I mean, eventually I cleared them, but it took ages. I mean, shouldn't it? It should take ages. And the other problem that is inherent to all shotguns, like the DBS, like the S12K, like the 1014, like the over-under, like the NS2000, is sometimes the shots just don't register. And that's not such a big deal. Like, I hit that guy square in the face at 0 range and it didn't register. It's not such a big deal when you're dealing with, say, an M416 or an Uzi or a AKM where one of the shells doesn't register. But when you're dealing with shotguns, that one shell that doesn't register is the whole shell that doesn't register, which is not good. It's not good at all. And that's the weak point of shotgun. It's one of the reasons why people with high ping sometimes don't love them. There is certainly something to be said for the fact that it's too strong at anything outside of 10 feet because, look, let's be honest, it deals so much damage lightly armored targets can't handle. And this is where it's brutal. Like, I know there's a guy there, I've only got to hit him once and it's game over. 3 helmet, doesn't matter. None of it matters. You're going down. Let's talk about the evolution of the DBS. The DBS was originally, as I've said before, in update 0.17. And that update, it was controversial because players didn't want a shotgun in an airdrop. We wanted, guns that did more things that M416s did or AKMs did, but did it stronger and better and faster. But what we've come to learn since then is that the DBS is actually filthy and actually incredibly good. And the fact that it has 14 shots that you can choose to fire singly or in tandem as a double tap that's nearly instant, well, that's very, very strong in the current meta. And it's strong in the current meta because obviously we have professional players everywhere running M416s. And then we have the second weapon in that slot being pretty much anything that gives an advantage in CQC. And having someone that is running a DBS is a huge advantage in CQC. It doesn't matter how good a player you are. If the other guy has a DBS and hits his shot, the one shot that he gets at you, you could be God himself and you're still going to go down. The game has evolved so much. Players are better. Players are more able to handle weapons like the DBS. And the player base as a whole has really got to grips with the idea of setting up engagements so that they hold forever, holding third person. And they can use guns like the DBS to do that. That's wonderful. But the fact that people thought the gun was so weak and wouldn't use it and that it got pulled out of crates and that shotguns then got buffed twice has made this gun, well, it's not an overnight sensation because there are people who've been using shotguns religiously for a long time, like Ace Lawrence. And by the way, if you haven't seen Ace's channel got pulled from YouTube, I'm not sure of the particulars, but he does have a new channel. I'm going to put a link in the description below. And if you've never seen someone who absolutely dominates with the shotgun, go and check that out. Ace Lawrence, good dad, good bloke, doing the business on YouTube and deserves a sub. They use shotguns religiously. And it's very much like a Fortnite situation. And that's going to sound like a weird thing, but Fortnite is a game where you build your structures. So everything happens in very close quarters for the most part. And shotguns in Fortnite were broken. They were absolutely broken. And they had to nerf the crap out of them because people were just using shotgun. And even the weak shotguns were strong enough to clear heavily armored targets and really good players, regardless of whether they were skillful or not. And that's the kind of thing we've got going on here in PUBG Mobile. Shotguns are so strong now to the point that people don't really have a lot of defense against them apart from just not fighting the players with them. And it's one of the reasons why I stay away nearly religiously from apartments, why I won't go and drop Yasna Polyana and I won't, push into people at the top of Rapunzel's tower. Because so many times I've done that in the past and some absolute muppet is just sitting there with a DBS and you can wipe entire squads in those choke points. And we've all been part of those squads that have been wiped in those choke points. I mean, even here, look at this. I stuffed this up. I expose myself and I get hit within an inch of my life here. And the DBS still just keeps on doing the business. And the only reason these guys got that is because one dude across the road rinsed me. If he hadn't hit me hard, they were all dead. The DBS is so broken like that. It's too strong right now, but I don't know how you fix it. I really don't. Apart from doing something that I first talked to Hockey Roop about, which is shotgun spread is very wide. If you made shotgun spread narrower, what would happen is you wouldn't get these situations where people hit like 60 damage on one round and 35 damage on the next, and that's enough to clear someone, or, 65 and 35. If you narrowed the spread down, and this sounds crazy, but if you narrowed the spread down, the shots that miss would completely miss. They would 100% miss, and the shots that hit would 100% hit. And I think that would be a much fairer way of doing it. Of course, I could be completely wrong because I don't balance games for a living. Anyway, I'm Bushcrow. I hope that was interesting for you on the DBS, a little bit of deep diving on it. If you're not running it, you probably should. It's well worth running, and it does the business in no uncertain terms. Please remember to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay safe on the battlefield, and bye for now.